Explain ideas in informational texts. Informational texts serve a specific purpose. They are intended to provide the reader with information on a topic. Informational texts are a specific form of nonfiction writing that is written simply to inform. Common informational texts that we will use would be magazines, textbooks such as science books or history books, autobiographies, as well as instruction manuals. In the digital age, we will often use Google or some other type of search engine to find specific information. As a reader, you need to remember that all informational texts have ideas, and your role is to identify, understand, and explain these ideas. So when you are testing, you will have the opportunity to read various informational texts. To best put yourself in a position to accurately pull the information out, you're going to have to think about the who, when, why, what, and where that is provided within the passage. Some common questions that you will ask would be, what is the text about? How does the author support his or her ideas? How does the author present the information? And finally, how does the author think or feel about the topic? So here we see that we will be asking questions to determine the central idea of the text and look for the supporting details that the author uses to support his or her idea. Maybe the author provides an opinion within the text. Once again, we will look for those key details that will help us determine whether or not we agree with that opinion. The author will use several tools to present information. Sometimes they will state ideas directly. In other cases, they may explain ideas indirectly that we have to use clues within the text to understand what the author is getting at. In magazines and textbooks, it's not uncommon to see authors include photographs or lists or some other type of graphic information to help get a particular idea across, or to provide us with information that we need to understand what he or she is trying to say. Instruction manuals, of course, will give us step-by-step instructions on how to do something. A case in point will be looking in a recipe book for a particular recipe that walks us step by step through the process on how to make that particular food item. The author may even present data in graphs to give us the information that they use to maybe even draw their conclusions or form their opinions that they are providing within the text. Let's look at an example of a passage about the Hubble Space Telescope and practice pulling key information from this passage. Hubble was launched from the Space Shuttle Discovery on April 24, 1990. It was put into a low Earth orbit that circles Earth every 97 minutes. Its speed, about 17,000 miles per hour. That is about 5 miles every second. This bus-sized marvel was designed so that astronauts aboard the space shuttle could retrieve it and upgrade it as necessary. The design was successful. 5 different shuttle missions were able to update the Hubble telescope. Let's practice pulling key details from the passage to answer the questions below. When was it first launched? Well, we see in the very first sentence that the Hubble telescope was launched on April 24th, 1990. How was it launched? Once again, in the first sentence, we see that it was launched by the Space Shuttle Discovery. How fast does it travel? Well, the author directly gives us this information as well, about 17,000 miles per hour. How big is it? Even though the author does not give us direct information about the dimensions or the size itself of the telescope, the author does state that it is bus-sized. Based on that information, we know that the telescope is big. What is unique about it? Well, there's a couple of pieces of information that we can use at the end of the paragraph to point out something that was different about this telescope. The author wants us to know that the telescope was designed to be used for years to come. How do we know this? Well, it says that it was designed so that astronauts aboard the space shuttle could retrieve it and upgrade it as necessary. And we're also told that there were 5 different shuttle missions that were successful, and they were able to update the Hubble telescope. So it's unique because it's designed to last and easy to upgrade.